Hey, everybody. That's the Pacific Northwest Geek Echo here. And I know it's been 3 months since I've done this, so make sure that audio. Yep. There we go. Yeah. 3 months since I've gone live. Shit, I think I've only been doing shorts the last 3 months. The last time I did a regular video. Let's see. Last time I did a regular video, 4 months ago. Damn. I gotta change the thumbnail somehow. I do not like the thumbnail they have picked out for me, so let me put a temp thumbnail up. Actually, no, I need to go back this way. I should download that as a thumbnail. Okay, let's see. You do have to have money in the first place to run a con. A lot of money. So you'd have to raise money for a con just to raise money. It'd be a lot of money. Sorry, I'm trying to fix something here before I start the. Save it there. Copy image. So I'm just trying to fix something here because I do not like the thumbnail that they have assigned me for this. I like the one that Professor did for me. Gonna be as soon as I fix this, we are going to be watching there we go. The 2013 Evil Dead. There we go. I should fix that. Something I should have fixed before I went live. I do apologize for that. Okay. Trusty tea, which is not from McDonald's, but my tea has gotten warm. I'll be right back. I gotta go to ice for my tea because I like my tea cold. All right, there we go. Let's get this going. Out of the 5, soon to be 7 Evil Dead movies, this is my favorite. Evil Dead Rise is my least favorite. I've only watched maybe one season, if that, of the show. I played the most recent video game. Um, so I'm gonna hit play. Said I would do this, but it's 10, no, quarter after 10 my time. Wouldn't be surprised if I get no viewers. That's what happens when you've been dead technically for as many months as I've been, even though I've been doing shorts. But no, that's not the one I want. Hell, there you go. I have never, when I think I saw Evil Dead, then Army of Darkness, then Evil Dead 2, became a fan. My best friend in high school, I think he really was into Evil Dead 2. I mean, Evil Dead 2, but Army of Darkness, really liked it. I was more into the first one up until I saw this one, which I thought is a really good movie. Really, really good movie. Let's see. Let me send some stuff out. Allergies have been acted up. I don't know if YouTube's sending my notifications out. I really haven't done anything other than an occasional short here and there. Dry Star Pictures, Film Stock, and Ghost House Pictures. Let's see. Instagram's been funky. Starts off with this girl walking around the woods, dazed, messed up, a little bloody. A little bloody. Butt of a gun to the face. That's one way to stop somebody. Don't be afraid. Wow. Hey, this beginning, I think it's a hell of a beginning for a movie. Yeah. Baby, how you doing? Tell me. God, they chose this family. They all look like a bunch of inbred rednecks. Explained to her that her mom's dead because she killed her. And she's begging for mercy. But she ain't human. She done be a deadite. Sorry, I get sinuses. Tell her to kill his daughter. She done be begging for mercy. Like the botch. I always like this when he lights the match. How she just flips the switch. Sorry about that. And helping to take care of a sick person. So, some really nice shots in this. All the woods look so pretty. Oh yeah, there's a few parts where you got some few blah spots, but like the woods look so pretty. It's like they want to show you the beauty. Everything's gonna be so nice. It's the quiet before the chaos. Everything looking so nice and pretty. So everybody looking so lovely and so full of it. It's safe for Barbara.
How long have you been incarcerated?
Quiet before the storm. Sorry. There's the Oldsmobile. At least a replica of the Oldsmobile. Something meant to look like the old legendary Oldsmobile that we see so much in Raimi related projects. And like, didn't they have a CGI version of the car in the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness? Oh, I don't really notice that. The necklace he gives his sister looks a lot like the necklace Ash gave his girlfriend in the first movie. gotta look something up. I know I've seen her on other stuff. I know I've seen the guy who plays the brother in other stuff. Jane Levy. What have I seen her in that I can't remember that I've seen her in? I've seen clips of Shameless. Let's look at filmography so I can see what I've seen her in. Okay. So far. Oh, she was in the Toxic Avenger remake. Hey, Don. This Sunday, I sit here and watch the 2013 remake of Evil Dead, which is, again, said a little bit ago, it's my favorite of the Evil Dead movies. This is the one I really, really love. I'm also dealing with allergies. It was so lovely to have a history of allergy problems, huh? What's your favorite of the Evil Dead movies? I know right now there's 5 of them, but we're getting Evil Dead Burn. Was it next year or later this year? And then we're getting the prequel, Evil Dead Wrath, which will be set in 1972. I wonder. Oh man, I gotta check something out. Yeah, I got a little bit of music being played, so I was hoping it wasn't being picked up. YouTube would tell me if it's being um, picked out. This one is so bloody. I went into the theater because I saw this in the theater when it came out, and I went in because I'm not big on remakes. I think the only remake I've ever liked is the 1990 remake of Night of the Living Dead. The other movies, I have not really been a big fan. I found some that are okay, but nothing I've really been a big fan of. I really walked out of this presently surprised. Evil Dead 2. See, here's the thing, Don. I never watched the original trilogy in order. Because I watched the original Evil Dead, then I saw Army of Darkness, and then I went back and rewatched Evil Dead 2. So I never watched them in order. I do know I inadvertently pulled a prank on my best friend in high school with the first movie. At the end, when there's 2 of the Deadites left, and the book ends up in the fireplace, the effects, like the one guy melts, and it looks like he's got milk and blood. Kind of looks like a liquidy cheesecake with a liquidy cherry syrup. And then there's also somebody when they melt, it looks like they got oatmeal coming out of them. Well, my best friend came over, and I can't remember if I gave him a slice of cheesecake or if he was eating oatmeal. One of us was eating oatmeal. One of us was eating cheesecake with cherry syrup on top. And so we get to that scene, and all of a sudden I hear this, "You son of a bitch. You son of a bitch. You're a bastard, man." And I look back at him, and he's glaring at me, and I can't figure out why he's mad. And he's looking at the food, and then he's looking at the TV, and then I start looking at the TV and the food, and I realize, oops, sorry, man. I didn't mean to pull the prank on you. I had no idea I was doing that. Scared the crap out of me with how pissed off he was. He was mad. But then again, my defense had no idea. I think they said the cabin from the original burnt down. And there was some damn good visuals in the second one. There's a scene when the deadite mother, they stop her in the head, the eyeball pops out, and the truck driver's girlfriend is screaming, and we just see the eyeball shoots right out of the mouth, and she swallows the eyeball. I thought that was funny. And that actress went on to, who played the girlfriend, went on to be in a soap opera. She played a character named Blair. I can't remember if it was One Life to Live or All My Children. She played a character named Blair. And the truck driver, was also in Intruder. You, how's it go? You, hey Ben, you are cursed. Very nice, very evil. Man, the WWE really, really landed something with him, didn't they? I mean, he was in AEW and they didn't really do that much with him. Maybe they didn't know what to do with him, but he came to the WWE and he has exploded. The guy's wrestled maybe 2 or 3 TV matches. Well, maybe 3 or 4 because one of them was a pay-per-view. He's done some house stuff I've seen because he did some stuff with Mizhausen. But all this stuff is just segments. And he's just exploded. The guy would probably never really have to wrestle. I mean, he could probably heal his body and just make a ton of money. Now, they're in the basement right now. And I always liked the basement a little bit more in the first 2 movies because it was more eerie. This is old. You had all these pipes up being held together with like towels and tape and whatnot. And plus, there was a dead body also in the basement. How would you like that? Walk into the basement of your home and there's a bunch of dead cats hanging. Shotgun with 2 rounds. Yeah, the smell of burnt flesh and dead cats is not just going to go away. You can take them out, and that smell's going to linger. Yeah. I mean, I've seen videos. I think I first started hearing about the guy before he started doing stuff in AEW. I think because I used to watch a lot of these different indie wrestling videos, and this guy, he was having some kind of thing in Ring of Honor, and he had a jar with teeth in it that he was trying to force feed his opponent, and it was like, what the hell is this? He He is very nice. His wife does she does bull acts, right? So he posted some pictures of him and his daughter. I think it is. I think he has a daughter, right? For Father's Day. And here we go. There's always got to be some dumbass who got to mess with something. So you got a book covered in what looks like a garbage bag and barbed wire, rusty old barbed wire. And this guy he's got to basically mess with it. I think I saw something, some guy the guy I think he's doing, he did Evil Dead Burn, he was talking about Army of Darkness, how there's 3 Necromonicons. So he's like, okay, the original Necromonicon, the one we saw in the Evil Dead Army of Darkness and Ash show, that was one. He's saying this is a different one. This is a different Necromonicon, and his is going to be the 3rd Necromonicon from Army of Darkness. And I guess that's kind of interesting. Yeah, I really haven't been doing horror stuff because I was following that GTA 6 drama that was going on. Yeah, Wrath is supposed to take place in 72, and I remember I heard watched a video, someone was talking about it. They want to give it that complete early 70s feel. Not just the terms of the way they dress or act, but like even the way the film stock they want it to look. They wanted to scream it. No, not really. I might, but like everyone was up in arms over the fact that if you order a physical copy, you're gonna get a case, and it's just gonna have a piece of paper, not a disc, with a code in it. And then plus, there's gonna be the $80 standard edition and the $100 ultimate edition, and there's gonna be things locked behind that paywall of that 100 edition that you can't get unless you spend that $100. And I've seen some people just kind of laugh and go, well, if you're upset, just spend the extra $20. Yeah, $80 is a bit too much already. So screw $100. But yeah, now I see they're saying that well, here's the thing, Ben. Now I see that Rockstar made a statement. And what they're saying is that the digital thing they're doing for the physical release, that's only for the pre-orders. Come, I think they say like December or something, we'll actually get a copy released that will have a disc. Okay, Ben, what they're talking about is GTA Plus, which is about $7.99. So yeah, it's about $8 a month, and you get it free for 1 month. But if you don't cancel it before then, or not cancel, you get it free for 1 month. But if you don't click on turn off auto renew, you will have to start paying that $8. Hello, Professor. Now because I play it on PS5. Now, here's the thing about GTA Plus. You get cars. Sometimes okay, sometimes they not. They just had the Stormberg, that car that can go into the water, has a submarine. You used to get properties. You get $500K in-game a month. You get access to a special garage. Oh, here the girl's in the car driving off. Yeah. Yeah. Something must have happened between them, and Sony must have found a way to sweeten the pot. Then, because I have heard that. I've also heard that people are commenting that apparently they put a thing up about how GTA 6 will be a single player. So people are like, what about an online one? So I've heard some people speculate that the GTA 6 online mode will be a separate game, which will be what? Another $80 to $100? GTA Online has been a huge money maker for Rockstar. The reason why GTA 5 is in the top 10, possibly the top 5 all-time selling games is because of that online mode. They want to get close to that with GTA 6, they need to do an online mode. That's where the money's at. Because I've talked to people who say they've never really played the story mode. They go just for the online mode. But there's been no talks of a GTA 6 online mode. Oh, that's kind of cool. There's theaters. I don't know if you've seen this in theaters. I know the theaters here, they advertise it. When you're in there, they have traveling sound that does the same thing. So if something in the movie happens in the left, it would pick up on the left speakers in the theater. And same with the right. If you have something that's supposed to be flying overhead, they would play the sound. So it would sound like the sound's traveling over your head. Well, here's the thing, Professor. We're in the digital era, and they're trying to force it on all of us. Remember when you used to be able to go to the store and there'd be a good selection of music and movies? There's a short on my channel where I show off. I play that song, oh no, 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 no. And it's showing off what little they had for movies and music. I used to love going to Best Buy. I probably got this from... No, I got this from Walmart. But at Best Buy, you had a ton of music. You had a ton of movies. I remember going there one day and there was nothing there. I think they had like one little like rack of movies. And the guy going up to talking to the guy at the counter. And he goes, under his breath, he's like, it was corporate decision. He said it was the office. It was the corporate's decision to cut back a physical release. But he said it under his breath. And I was like, what the hell are you saying, man? I don't understand. He kept saying under his breath. I kept asking. I think I ignored him to the point where he said it out loud. It was corporate's decision. But he didn't want to say it out loud because I think he wasn't too happy with it. They know it was bad, but... Yep. And this movie, I just remember when I went to, I think this is the one, when I went to get it, it was released and Walmart forgot to put it out. They had the things up saying, new release, Evil Dead. And they forgot to put it out on the rack, on display. So when I told them, they went back and got it. I remember standing there waiting to write. And they started putting it on the shelf. I grabbed my copy. It's like, I'm going to pay for this. Walmart's the same. Walmart's exactly the same. They have more vinyls than they do CDs and movies together. Yeah, I've been meaning to get an emulator because there's a lot of like old games. Hey, I would love to play the original Saints Row, but it's an Xbox exclusive. It's never been on PC or any other system. I would love to play that original Saints Row. Really, really want to. Yeah, with the PS Plus extra premium, whatever, you could kind of play the second game, but you have to use it's a
You can't download it. You stream it to play it. Yeah, speaking of Evil Dead, they did what? On what was it, Dreamcast and PlayStation? They did what, 2 or 3 Evil Dead games? I didn't like the last one they played. It annoyed the living daylights out of me. It wasn't that fun.
Shocked.
Nintendo, I'm shocked they haven't gone after people for that shit. They went after that rapper, was it Soulja Boy? Because he tried to release that system that was going to have like the ROMs of all those games, and some of them belonged to Nintendo. And they were like, dude, Nintendo's going to come for you, man. They're going to hit you, man. They'll sue you. He was like, oh, fuck Nintendo. And then a day or two later, he changed his tone. It was like, did somebody get a cease and desist letter? Did somebody get a warning of a lawsuit from a major company? A major international company? There's a lot of great games. Like Splatterhouse game. The remake was okay, but what I liked about the remake was you could unlock the original 3 games to play as extras. Three cases. Oh, damn. That's awesome. I know there was one system that's supposed to have a whole bunch of games, and I saw it, and I saw in the comments some people were complaining that while it was great you had all these games you can play, the system was advertised that it has family friendly. However, there were like X-rated games they were saying on it. I was like, oh yeah, family friendly for what family if it's got X-rated games?
Didn't they? Let's say
They either re-released those or they did a remaster of them. Because there's a new one. Because I've come across some of them. Okay, there's
shit.
I would like to play that. Was that Sweet Home Suite, the one that's supposed to be like the inspiration or whatever for Resident Evil? At least they used some of the stuff from it for Resident Evil. Oh, it's gonna be was there a new one in 2016 for Fatal Frame? Called Fatal Frame. Oh, they did a remake. And they remade Crimson Butterfly. Fatal Frame 2 was remade. When was it released? It was released back in March. They did a remake of it. Yeah, that's one I would love to play. Yeah, your dog's covered in blood. I think I have a copy of an anime game for Love Hina. It's a PS1 game. I got it because it's a Japanese one. Everything about it's still in Japanese. I used to have it on display in the background because I thought it'd be cool. This background was all into anime a lot to have this anime game. Didn't they remake another one of the? Trying to see if they remade the first one. Let's see. Go down Legacy. Well, they did a movie for it too, huh? They need to remake the old the old Evil Dead games. You know, because I'm sitting there watching this movie. This long-haired guy with the goatee, I never liked him. I always thought that he was annoying. Ben, I've been saying that for a while. I look at it like this. Okay, so when I gotta look up this movie because they had a window of opportunity. So when did the first one come out? Okay, when they started doing the Jurassic World movies, the original trilogy, that was a chance to bring back Dino Crisis and Turok Dinosaur Hunter. Also was the time to bring back Carnivore, but they didn't. And you know what, Professor? I found out about it's. I don't know about Dead or Alive 6, but in Dead or Alive 5, you know, there's breast movements, natural, left, right, and I feel up, down. But if you lose, I think it's 5 to 10 fights with any female fighter, you release, oh my God, movement. I should re-download that game so I can show you what that looks like. The oh my God looks painful. Yeah. You had this opportunity because you had dinosaurs were back in a big way. And you could have took incredibly advantage of it, and they didn't. Yep. We're at the point in Evil Dead 2013, when Mia shows up in the room with a shotgun. Capcom has a lot of good franchises. Okay, because you got to remember they have Resident Evil. They have Mega Man, Street Fighter. They got some good fighting ones. Oh, puking blood all over her. God, no, there's a lot of franchises. Don't they? One minute. Yeah, there would be. But Capcom, yeah, they. I'm gonna look something up. Let's see. They're sitting on Street Fighter, Mega Man, Devil May Cry, Dead Rising. So the reason why they're sitting on Dead Rising. They killed Dead Rising. I saw that they remade the first Dead Rising game. And I think Cody Ray was doing a live stream or something of playing some of it. And I heard the new voice for Frank. And I was just like, oh my God, that sounds so terrible. This does not like sound like Frank. It sounds so bland. See, we're getting another Until Dawn game, which I'm pumped for the Until Dawn. And I've been seeing reports that the upcoming the upcoming GTA is going to be anywhere from 300 to 600 gigabytes. Shit. I have to delete most of what's on my system. I'll go ahead and save up the 100 plus. And get a memory card. Oh my God, I would like to see when the girl is like mid-step and the Deadites take her over. Oh, and she starts pissing up. She starts pissing orange juice all over herself. I don't know about that one, Professor. I was watching it and then I saw what they did with Guile and Cody, and it was just like, oh my God, he looks so terrible. He's like super. I'm not saying Cody's a skinny guy, but Guile's supposed to be a tall, buff guy. And Cody just doesn't have the right build for it. Maybe they could have had him hit the gym a little bit to get some definition, but then you see that hairdo. When I saw that wig, that hair thing they have on, I was just like, is this a comedy? Is this supposed to be a parody of something? This looks terrible. And I really enjoyed this movie. I haven't seen the new Super Mario Brothers one. The one that's pretty much supposed to be like Super Mario's Galaxy. I saw the first Super Mario's one, or the first CGI one in the theater, and I loved the shit out of it. I had so much fun. So I'm hoping I get that same experience with the second one. I know this is that they before it came out, they revealed that Star Fox was in it, and I still feel that they should have kept that hidden. That we shouldn't have seen him. They should have waited for the movie to be out before we heard that he was going to be in it, because that would have got a reaction from people. If they're watching, all of a sudden, boom, there he is. They would have loved the people would have gone insane. Well, she got that needle right under the eye. He bashed her headed. I think because we're too used to that voice whether it was originally Captain Lou Albano or the later guy. Yippee! We're used to that, and we don't see that in these movies. It doesn't sound like the Mario that we all grew up on. And because he doesn't sound like that, it's kind of weird. Although, if I remember right, the guy who's been voicing Mario for years does appear in it as Mario's dad. If I remember right. He's in it, but yeah, it's just Chris Pratt does not pull it off. And I like him. I liked him in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. I liked him in the original Jurassic World trilogy. I'm sure I've seen him in other stuff, but I like him. Just not as Mario. He should have tried to give it a little bit of an Italian accent or something to try to sound like the Mario we all know. But it's that little blue star thing. That's what cracked me up. That's what had me almost falling out of my seat and laughing my ass off. Who I understand they got the daughter of the sound engineer to say, they got this little girl who's the daughter of the sound engineer, and they got her to say all this stuff. She had no idea what we were saying, but then they got her talking about the sweet embrace of demise. And it's all like despair and horror, and it's like, oh my God, this is disturbing. Especially when it was just a little girl who they got to say some really twisted stuff. And I was just rolling. Is that right? What am I going to look up something? Oh, I got notifications. Something about Sonic the Hedgehog having an anniversary. Those movies weren't that bad either. Holy shit. Sonic the Hedgehog came out in 1991. No wonder it's turning 35. Yeah, I was back then. During the console wars, I was Team Sega through and through. I had some cousins who had Super Nintendos, and I'd play it when I'd go and see them. But I had a Sega Genesis, which my parents got me as a gift. So I played primarily Sega. Do you guys remember the console wars of the 90s? And if so, were you Team Sega or Team Nintendo? SNES had some good stuff on it. I got that SNES Mini. But yeah, there's some games I would like to play that I like the feel of the controls. Although, funny story, I was playing Landstalker, which is my favorite Sega Genesis game. And I'm so used to how controls are now. We got the D-pad, and then we got the two little joystick things. And I swear, I hardly use the D-pad. But when I was like trying to play Landstalker on an old Sega controller, I had trouble handling things moving around because I'm so used to the joystick things on the control. Yeah, Jim did an awesome job on those. Didn't he retire after the second one? And they got to come out of retirement for the third one? And there was supposed to be a show that's supposed to follow Knuckles. split on a tongue in half with a razor blade. God, this is such an awesome movie. That's the one thing, when people get possessed by these spirits, they show change, don't they? The Deadites, they show change. There come these vulgar, obscene things. And they put audio from the original movies in this. Because I think at one point you do hear the audio of Dead by Dawn, which is the first one. Was Ash's sister was saying that? Dead by Dawn, Dead by Dawn. And here's the thing I just realized, I never noticed before. Okay, in the original, there was Ash, his sister, his girlfriend, a friend of his, and his friend's girlfriend. So there was 2 guys and 3 girls. That's exactly what we see in here. They're keeping the count the same. Oh, I'm doing a watch along, but if people want to talk games, I'm always up for talking games. I always do enjoy it. I mean, the games I'm eyeing right now definitely is the remake of Code Veronica and Until Dawn 2. I have the remake or the remaster, whatever, of the first Until Dawn. I remember I did some live streams playing the Until Dawn. So I'm thinking I need to do the remaster, the remake, or whatever they did for Until Dawn before they release next year sometime. When they do the new Until Dawn, which would take place on a beach, like a vacation type resort or something, completely opposite of what, being in the mountains and stuff. I'm hyped for that. But if I get that GTA, shit. If I get that GTA, I'd wait till December so I can get the disc. And I'd have to get a memory card for my system, which is not going to be cheap. I'm already looking at replacing my towel because I got no audio. That's not cheap. So, hey, Professor, you've done reproductions of the Book of the Dead for the Evil Dead. So which ones have you done? I think the last one was, did you do the one for Evil Dead Rise? Or was it this one was the last one? And also, if the book looks different in Burn, you're going to have to do that one. I like this. The affection in her hand, that she gets bit, the affection in her hand spreading, and the hands turning against her, much like Ash's hand turned against him in Evil Dead 2. Okay, but wasn't Army of Darkness's book different? Was it bigger than the books from the from the other ones. Well, see, you have a chance to make 3, Professor, because remember, there's 3 books in that one. Oh, she's gonna cut her arm off. You should do a Professor Macabre version. It's like if you could do a face mode of yourself, like screaming, have that. Have like your face has the cover of the book screaming. The Professor Macabre Book of the Dead. But they're hiding out. Let's see. And then also with Evil Dead Wrath is how will the book look in Evil Dead Wrath? Because it might end up looking different in Evil Dead Wrath, since that's going to be in the 70s. Okay, let's see. Yeah, it's the one they. I mean, I remember them mentioning it, the name, because I know they were talking about Evil Dead, but all of a sudden, as they were talking about this, started hearing Evil Dead Wrath. I was like, okay, what's that? And then next thing you know, oh, it's a prequel set in 1972. And for what they'll say, Professor, they're going to try to give it the complete 70s feel. I was telling Ben earlier, they're going to try to make, I think either Ben or Don, I was telling them earlier, they're going to try to give it the complete, like, early 70s feel, not just the way people look and the way they dress and do the hair, but I think they're going to try to even make the film stock. It was someone was mentioning, give it that early 70s feel. That could be trippy. If they did that. Okay. Hey, Hobbs. Sitting there watching Evil Dead 2013 and talking games and movies. To the point where the girlfriend has cut her arm off and she's got the nail gun shooting them at everybody. So you know he needs to shoot the dumbass who messed with the book and caused all of this because he had to play with the Book of the Dead. Well, what we're doing is, like I said, I'm watching Evil Dead from 2013, and We and Professor, we were chatting like a little bit of Evil Dead, some games. You missed Ben was here, Don was here, Jabot was here earlier. Tell him, get that shotgun. Get that shotgun before she does. She's got a crowbar. Yes, put that arm right up so she can hit it with the crowbar and break that arm. The way they do the makeup in this is hella good. I like the makeup in this. This movie hopefully won some awards. Although I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't because, you know, horror movies don't get really that much love. It's a box office success, apparently. Cost them $17 million to make. And they made 97.5 mil off it. That's one for best makeup. So won the Fright Meter Award, one for best makeup, best special effects. And the International Film Critics Award, one for best original score for a fantasy/science fiction horror film, best music composition of the year. On the Fangoria Awards, best makeup creature effects. Runner-up for best worldwide release, best supporting actor. And third place for worst film. Hell no, this is a good film. This is an awesome film. The guy's nails with him is crying. God, he's a joke. He caused all the guy with the nails in him and the long hair and the goatee. He caused all this. Yeah, the mess with the Book of the Dead. Now his girlfriend's dead. His friend's girlfriend's dead. His friend's sister's been possessed. And he's got nails in him. He's had the crap kicked out of him. It's all his fault. And he doesn't want to become the devil's bitch. Dead by dawn, dead by dawn. I see that they're making the Nightfall trilogy into animated movies. Cool trilogy. I think there's Nightfall, Nightrise. I forget what it is. Like the first part is Bane shows up, causes trouble, breaks Batman's back. Batman gets a replacement who goes insane. And then Batman gets the ability to walk again. And has to defeat you have to defeat the new Batman who's insane. That's right. Bruce did have like a unibrow in those movies. Was that unibrow because of the dirt and the filth? Because it's not really there in the other movies. Got that dirt in that, whatever. Yeah. And I saw a trailer and it said coming soon, the Nightfall trilogy. I know there's Nightfall, Nightrise. I cannot remember. Okay, I'm gonna have to look this up because I remember the trilogy. It's just I cannot remember all three names. I only remember Nightfall. Oh, the Nightfall trilogy. But each part I could have sworn was a different name. Yep. And he was genetically, like, they did some genetic stuff to him. Okay. Nightfall, Night Quest, and Night's End. So Nightfall is when his back gets broken and he can't walk. Night Quest is when he works on getting his ability to walk back. And that's when John Paul Azrael takes his place. And then Night's End is when he's got the ability to walk again and he has to take it back. Although we're getting a Absolute Batman animated movie. God damn, Batman been hitting that Venom, hasn't he? You get that animated short with the Joker. Joker turns around, he's like, oh, holy shit. What you do? Eat Bane? Well, they finally showed I recently showed the Absolute Hawkeye. Not Hawkeye, but Absolute Green Arrow. You know, that world is supposed to have been created by Darkseid, is where the heroes don't have the advantage like they do before. They don't have the advantage of all the resources. The villains do. Yeah, those animated movies, they did such a good job. They did the death of Superman twice. First one was, that's okay. That second one, because the first one was the death of Superman and the reign of Superman, so to speak. But that the second time they did it, that was just the way they did Doomsday and him going against the Justice League. That was just awesome. Have they started the new season of when they started the new season of X-Men 97? Because I didn't like X-Men 97 when it first started out. I thought it was slow. And then you got that episode with Genosha, the attack on Genosha, and Gambit's death. Spoiler for those who haven't seen it. Gambit dies. He sacrifices his life. Oh, July 1st, so next week. Sure. They did tease us the origins of Onslaught in them. So it'd be kind of cool if we get Onslaught eventually. Yeah. That was just the way they did. That was a complete, like, watching it. Magneto gets wasted. Well, he doesn't get wasted. We find out later on. But then we get that part with Gambit. It was like, and then Rogue holding them, and it has the screen goes black. We hear her crying, going, "Remy, I can't feel you." We're just like, holy shit. That was powerful. Yeah, like I said, the show started so slow, and I didn't really care for it at first. I was like, oh, this is kind of boring. Again, then we get to that whole like the attack on Genosha. It's like the show had a slow burn. It was like the Day of the Dead show they did one season of. Slow burn until you got towards later. Only they shouldn't have done a slow burn for the Day of the Dead. They should have done it more like boom, 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 faster. Because they ended on cliffhangers. You know, the one scientist or whatever she was is abducted. The little girl might be a zombie, and the one kid's protecting his father who's a zombie. And then it ends. And because it was so bad, not received well. We're not going to finish. I think the same thing with the live action Resident Evil thing, because that was terrible. And I think that ended incomplete too. And there was talk we were going to get Lady Dominique, whatever it was, the 8-foot tall G Cup lady was going to pop up in the season 2. Oh damn! We don't got Dave Saw Chicken here. Why are all the people who do cool meals and stuff on here? Yeah, suck. See, that was that $40 Supergirl meal from KFC. You get what? A Supergirl cup, a crypto popcorn container, a little what looks like a little Funko figure, and some food for like $40. Someone else was doing some kind of food thing. Also, I've been seeing something about a new. Is there a new Ghostbuster cartoon coming out? I've been seeing something about a new Ghostbuster. Yeah, Ghostbuster Night Shift. Comes out next year. Yes, use a call battery, 2 syringes, and some electric tape and wires to bring back your dead sister. No, it's going to be on Netflix. It's called Night Shift. I've been seeing some stuff for it on Instagram. If I can find it and send it to you, Professor. And I'm going to send you. One of the things I've been seeing about it. Just send you something on Instagram, Professor, so you can see. And that's another one that ended with a cliffhanger. We were supposed to see the OG cartoon characters team up with the new kids at the end, and then what? Nothing happened?
Cliffhangers. Comes out in 2027. I think I saw something somewhere is that we were supposed to see. There was a rumor that we were supposed to see one of the characters from Extreme appear in the last Ghostbusters movie. Let's see. So I can find the thing. Oh no, they mixed up because he's Kylie was also in the IDW publishing for Ghostbusters. But there was a rumor that she was going to appear in the movie, filling the same role, where she would work in the store at Ray's store. Yeah, that does suck. Either it's because it doesn't do good, or because of budget. Because remember they just this the latest one was The Burrows from the Duffer Brothers on Netflix. I don't want to. If you haven't seen it, it's a pretty cool show. I enjoyed it, but it ends on a cliffhanger, and it got canceled, so we won't get a season 2. I think it was. I mean, I thought it got good reception, but they were talking about there might have been some bad feedback, and the cost of producing that show, the episodes for it might have been too much. I also heard that there were some TV shows like Watson that got canceled, and I think Watson was one of the ones that people hoping that someone like Netflix would pick up, because remember Netflix, when they canceled Lucifer, Netflix picked it up. And at the end, after her brother sacrifices himself, which means I'm about to get to the scene where we get the Mia Deadite clone and a shitload of rain. God, how many gallons of fake blood did they have to use just to film this scene? And then if they messed up, they got to go back and, she can just take a shower. But they got to go back and clean up all that fake blood and start over again. Yeah, man. This movie, I'm really a fan of it. I was sitting back here
this last week, we were playing some of the Saints Row games. So I played Saints Row the Third, which is the most successful of all the Saints Row games. It made more money than any of the other ones. The most fun you have in terms of the Saints Row game is that one. And then they screwed it up by doing that Saints Row 4 where it wasn't as fun. And then Get Out of Hell was even less fun. Agents of Mayhem, which is a spin-off of Get Out of Hell, is it's an okay time racer with the waste time, but it's not that good. And then that crappy remake, which I'm going to give another shot, which apparently there's a Dead Island 2 outfit DLC. God, they killed that franchise with one crappy game. It got worse and worse, and they got one crappy game, which is a Saints Row game in name only. It lacked the magic and the joy. Of those other Saints Row games. Downloaded that Lollipop Chainsaw because they had it on sale, so I'm testing out to see if it's one that I'm gonna end up enjoy doing. Well, because here's the thing, Professor. When they were working on the third game, it broke away from being a GTA clone, and then when it was out, they were teasing a DLC called Into the Dominatrix, which first it was a prank, then it was going to be a actual Saints Row DLC. Then THQ went under, and that company that became THQ Nordic, when they were buying them the different IPs up from THQ, they bought it up, and because Into Domination was supposed to be about aliens invaded Earth. The Saints defeat the aliens, but then we're left dealing with the sentient AI, which was going to take the form of a dominatrix. It was not good. Get Out of Hell was Get Out of Hell was even worse than the Saints Row 4. Agents of Mayhem is based because one of the alternate there's different endings you can get for Get Out of Hell. One of them is that God recreates Earth, but the saints don't exist in this world. The members will, but the saints will never form. And Agents of Mayhem is not that fun. It's something if you want to play, you want to waste some time. And then, of course, we get that crappy remake. And then THQ closed that particular part of the THQ Nordic, as it came to know, they closed that branch, that studio down. Didn't they do the same with Capcom? Do the same with the studio who did Dead Rising? We got some Dead Rising movies. No, it's the beginning of the fourth game. You turn into the president, and then the world gets invaded by aliens, and you get stuck in some kind of simulation a la the Matrix, and then the planet gets destroyed, and you have to avenge everybody and stop the aliens. And you're still called the president, only you're the president of jack shit. She cut her clone in half. I just hope there's a way there's a ROM to play that first game on PC. although one of the guys who helped create the original games, I heard he wanted to do a prequel that I think would follow Julius Little and Benjamin King, perhaps seeing the Orders of the Saints and the Vice Kings. And speaking of GTA, did you see that the studio that did Wolverine was poking fun at Rockstar because they put an announcement out about this is the release date for the Wolverine game, and it will come with a disc. It's like, oh, there's a little jab right there to Rockstar. And Saints Row even jabbed at Rockstar because Saints Row had the hover bike things before Rockstar did it on GTA Online. So they put out a tweet after those hover bikes and lasers came out, and they went, "So, Rockstar, GTA, who's cloning who now?" Evil Dead. Yeah, I've been watching all the stuff unfold. People being upset like there's no tomorrow over everything. It's going to be hectic. Well, Professor, my understanding now is the general theory is that they're doing this because they're afraid that because the stores will get the copies of the game before they put them on the shelf for people to buy, and they're afraid that somebody at the stores will steal copies of it and then look into the code to the build stuff on the disc to see what different things they can find that are hidden. And there'll be spoilers and stuff before the game comes out. So now, because of that, in November, we get just that physical, we get a physical release that's going to come nothing more with a piece of paper with a code on it. And then later, like someone said maybe later in the year, which I think probably be December, we'll get an actual disc copy. And they are getting dogged about that. They're getting dogged about the prices, the dog about putting things behind a paywall. I've also heard them talking about having some kind of thing that if you want to play it, you have to show your ID or something to identify that you're an adult. I'm not big on that because that company has been hacked more than once. We know at least twice. Yes, this last time was a they use a third-party server, but I don't feel secure because then somebody can hack them again, and your ID, which is going to have your name, your date of birth, your address, is going to have personal information on it that someone can use, perhaps in a negative way. But yeah. And someone else did do the whole thing of you buy the game and you get a piece of paper. You essentially, turn my camera on here. What the saying is you're gonna get like something like this, and then when you open it, you're gonna have like a piece of paper that's going to have a code to download. That's it. You're spending $80 to $100 for a piece of paper. That's if you get it physical. If you get it digital, they're paying $80 or $200 for a code for Well, don't buy it. Look, it's like this. If my thing is, don't spend the 80 to 100 and get a physical copy because again, you have to get nothing more than a piece of paper. Go to the digital store. Go to the PS store. Go to the Xbox store. Buy it that way. I want to go look and see how big it is. Because some people said 600. Now I'm seeing 300 gigabytes. I have right now. I have just under 300. I have actually about under 250 free space, gigabytes of free space on my PlayStation. I'd have to delete a whole bunch. But I want to see if we're all going to get a separate release for the online mode. Because I'd rather play the online mode than the actual one. I ended up, because I have the online mode for GTA. I did that. I got all 3 endings. I did all 3 endings for the story mode before purchasing and spending. I think it was supposed to be like $20 for the online mode. I got it on sale just for the online mode. It used to be that you had to do the opening heist in the story mode before you can play the online mode. So yeah, but here's another thing, Professor. Here too is this little piece of information. When you purchase a game, you're not purchasing a game. You're purchasing a license that's going to let you play a game that belongs to the developer, to the publisher. So that's what you're really buying is a license, not a game. So people are spending $80 to $100 for this license that at any time somebody can pull it. You know, I got games on my console that you can't buy anymore. I have the Kira, the sequel. They did a sequel series to The Last Airbender. I have the game for that. They did a game of that. You can't get that game no more. Physically, but not digitally. I have the Transformers game the same company did that's based on the G1 cartoon. I don't think you can get that anymore. But I can re-download it because I have the license for that. And I hope they never pull that. No one fucks with Nintendo. I heard the story of like the former head of the company, a former head of the company. They wanted to give him a job, put him in charge, and he wouldn't do the job at first. And eventually came to him and got, I'll take the job, but there's 2 catches. 1, if I take it, you can never hire another family member of mine for the company. No family member of this company will ever be hired for this company. Again, if I take the job. 2, our current family members who are working for the company, you must fire. Because again, I must be the only family member who works for this company. And they said yes. And all his family members who worked for the company got fired. And they would never hire them again. I'm sure after he died, they probably did it again. But it's like, damn. One of the vicious. That doesn't shock me. I have the Switch Lite, which is a weak system. And in order for me to play online with it, I have to be in the same room. This room is where the router is. It's sitting right over there. The Wi-Fi in this thing is so weak in the Switch 2, I have to be in the same room. So if I have to look for updates, I bring it out and I plug it in and go, updates. It's a weak system. And there's also an issue that some games, Switch couldn't handle. I'd be like the WWE games. The WWE games are glitchy as hell already as is. And then I was hearing the Switch port of those games was terrible. And so whenever I would look at these games, wow, this can be good for the Switch or not. I look at the reviews because that's where you would find out whether or not the Switch can handle some of these games. And but the Switch is cool. I mean, the whole idea of this hybrid system, you can go around with it. It can be portable like a handheld, and then you dock it in the station, and it becomes a console. That's something I find cool. Then I had they had the Xbox Series SX. I had the one that was digital because I couldn't find the one where you use discs. I got rid of that because I'm Team PlayStation, and I made sure that I got the one with disc because that's how I prefer it. I got a cooling station for it, but I got to test something out because the cooling station draws power from the PlayStation, which apparently the PlayStation has some kind of safety thing with the power. If it's draws so much power from it, it turns itself off. So it was keeping it cool. I'm sitting there playing, all of a sudden, beep, beep, boop, turns off. I got to turn it back on. Get things going again. Beep, beep, boop, boop. Unplug the cooling station. So I got to find another way to get power to the cooling station. I think I might know how. But that was just messed up because it was drawing power from it. That was turning the system off. Yeah. So now we got Evil Dead Burn. And then is it next year or whenever we're going to get Evil Dead Wrath, which is going to be interesting. And I think they said that Raimi and somebody else were going to create an Evil Dead Bible, which when someone goes to make an Evil Dead film, this little thing will help. This what they're calling Evil Dead Bible will help them to make the films. Like guidelines. This is, if you're gonna do an Evil Dead movie, here's the things. I actually would love to see them to actually release that. I'll just get my hands on a copy of it to see. Okay, so I can do this. That'd be awesome to see. And some people were saying that the house in Evil Dead Burn looks like Ruby's house, the Lucy Lawless's character from the Ash versus the Evil Dead show. I mean, supposedly Ash's voice could be heard in Evil Dead Rise, they said, because you could listen to a tape recording, you can hear somebody screaming, "No, don't read it." I think someone said that's supposed to be Ash. Of course, Ash is at the tail end of the Evil credits for the 2013 movie. So tying Ash in, even though Bruce will never physically play him anymore. I think they said if they do something animated, video game wise with the character, Bruce would do it, but he's physically. How old is Bruce? Okay. Shit, he's 68? Bruce just had a birthday. He was born June 22nd, 1958. He's 10 years all senior professor. Well, 20 years all professor senior. He was born 20 years before us. see. Do you have any new stuff coming out? And he will be involved in some way with the new Evil Dead movies. What's he doing? Oh, he's executive producer for the new Evil Dead movies. Let's look at the director. Hey, remember, Erica, watch Erica dance in House of the Dead. She appears topless. I count it more as I count it more as like a remake, because for a reboot, when we have to have a sequel, because even though it did good, we never got anything more set in this universe. So I'm seeing what the director for, let's see, he only did 2 films. So the director of Evil Dead Burn only did 2 films. Let's see, it can't be right. He did some shorts, but he's only done Infested and the Evil Dead Burn. Yeah. Might be an interesting movie to check out. But no, it's, to me, for a reboot, it would have to have sequels. And the fact that we never got a sequel to this. Why didn't we get a sequel to this movie? It's a good movie. They decided to go okay, take it back. According to this, and I'm going to have to look at this, Evil Dead Rise is a standalone sequel to this movie. So this movie does have a sequel. But if Evil Dead Rise is indeed a sequel to this. Let's see, trivia. Look at IMDb. So this. Oh, well, I'm trying to see, because Wikipedia calls it a standalone sequel. So I'm trying to look on IMDb. Okay, let's see. Or do the simple one. Okay, this says it's not a sequel. So somewhere along the line, someone got the information mixed up. I look at Evil Dead Rise more as a reboot. The fact that we're getting, like we got this in 2013. 10 years later, we get Rise, and now we're getting Burn, and then Wrath. So I look at more as Rise has a reboot. That seems to reboot the franchise. I think it's because, okay, in Evil Dead, the original one, don't the Deadites have white eyes? And in this and Rise, they have the yellow eyes and the vulgarities. And they're a lot more violent than the original Deadites. So maybe the similarities, the yellow eyes and the violence, the vulgarity. I'm telling you, Professor, that House of the Dead, I've watched that movie I don't know how many times. I've watched every episode of Smallville. Did not notice until like one of the watchings of House of the Dead. I had to stop. Like, is that how I think it is? Sit down, pause. Do 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 do. Boom! It is her. She does appear topless. Still think she got a boob job because her chest seemed to have gotten bigger in later projects. And she wasn't exactly endowed like she is in later stuff. Hey, she still appears topless. And, and then I'm like, somewhere a name from the past came up. Let's see if I can get her name right. I don't know if she does music anymore. Biff. You guys remember Biff Naked? BIF Naked? She was a musical act. I think she did a cover where We're Not Gonna Take It for Ready to Rumble. I think she's in House of the Dead. I swear, she doesn't. She does stuff for Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Charmed, The Crow, Stairway to Heaven, Ready to Rumble. I could have swore she was in House of the Dead. And Cody. And I can tell. See if she's got an IMDb. I can tell that because Paul W. Anderson is doing that. She does have a IMDb because Paul Anderson is doing that. I'm trying to look up. Yeah, she plays the DJ in House of the Dead, which means she didn't make it off the island. She ended up with zombie food. But what was it? Because Paul W. Anderson is doing the new House of Dead movie, so Uri Boll wants to do an unofficial sequel that would take place on the original island and bring back some of the cast. But yeah, my friend, so just watch that. Technically, there is a third, or was going to be a House of the Dead movie, but I guess it wasn't that good. Something for some reason they decided to make a movie called Deader and Deader was supposed to be House of the Dead 3, but they ended up saying no, we'll make it its own separate thing. House of the Dead 2 is House of the Dead 2 has some of the actors and actresses who you used to see a lot. But they need to explain something because in the first movie, that one like cop girl, she dies, gets both her legs ripped off, yet shows up, I think, alive as the same character. Is it the same character in the second movie who has no legs? Some of the shots in that movie. Ed Quinn. You used to see him a lot. Trying to find her name. Wasn't Victoria Fett? She was another one of those actors. Okay. This is Ellen Jordan Casper. Let me check to see if that's her. Look at the cast. Yeah, Ellie kind of plays Jordan Casper in the first movie, Jordan Casper in the second. Because it's coming for you, Professor. It's coming for you, Professor. It's coming to take you away, away. It's coming to take you away. So let's get connections. Look at the Evil Dead thing again. So we get Evil Dead Burn in 2026 and Evil Dead Wrath in 2028. Yes, I've been dead a long time, Professor. But you gotta do it Bill Moseley style. They're coming to get you, Barbara. They're coming to get you, Professor. They've been dead a long time. They're horny. They're coming for you, Professor. Yeah. Here's one for you guys. Here's one for you guys. Do you guys recall that we were supposed to get a Night of the Living Dead Part 2 that would feature some of the cast from Sorry, it would feature some of the cast from Day of the Dead. It would feature the three that survived that flew off to an island at the end of the movie. They were supposed to come back, has new characters. This would have been talked about, sorry, sniffles, a few years ago. That we were supposed to get this. We got some photos. Apparently, oh god, his name. Why did his name skip? The guy that plays Art the Clown was gonna be has a guess called shark bite zombie, and he got bit out of him. Apparently, there was a lot done, and it was funded, and then went silent. No one heard about it. went quiet. I forgot about it, and then I was watching someone's video, and they were talking about it, and I'm watching this movie, and then they started showing these images, particularly of the three cast members of Day of the Dead, and I just went, holy shit. I remember now. And he was like, it looks like a lot was done. It was pretty much done, and then I guess the plot was that some survivors are hiding on an island from zombies, and some other people show up, and then the zombies show up, and they have to fight to survive. The big selling thing, I think, at the time was you were going to have the three main characters, the survivors from Day of the Dead, playing new characters, but you were going to have them reunited fighting the zombies. That's pretty awesome. But anyways, thanks for everyone who joined me. It's a little past midnight, and I went to go get in a little bit of gaming. I'm playing, trying to level up a little bit for GTA. I've been doing some of the heist stuff, the later heist stuff. God, that game has gotten so boring. You just drive around and no one shoots at you. But if I come across another movie worth watching, I'm always looking for some. Really wanted to do a watch along to Zombie for Sale. That would probably be on the Zombie channel. I need to do something for there, but I can't find Zombie for Sale anywhere to watch for free, so that you guys can watch it too. And I don't think they would like me too much if I put watch along to Big Boob Buster. As much as I know Professor would like that one. Anyways, thanks for joining me. Thanks, Ben. Thanks, Cody. Thanks, Hobbs. Thanks, Professor. And everybody, have a good night. And it's been hot as late, so stay cool, stay safe, drink plenty of awa. It's good for you. See you on the flip side.